they're waiting to raid the ram, and it's a part of the plan. Incarcerated states of America invaded foreign land.
I want justice.
George Jackson and Anthony Haynes.
I want justice.
Tony Ford and Luis Perez.
I want justice.
Andy Arroyo gets locked in a cage. From Michael Powell and a victim for
Hey, yo, what's good? It's Capital X TV. This is episode 3, and I am going to talk about my music video, I Want Justice. Kind of give the background story of how that video came about. It's actually the only video that I have that has cracked 10,000, and there's a story that goes behind that, you know what I mean? And I wanted to share, like I said, a lot of tracks that, you know, people put tracks together, they have stories of how the track, what inspired the track, how the track came to be, and it's the same with videos, you know, at least for me anyway. It's not like, you know, oh, I had a budget, I got a team together, you know, and we went here and they picked different spots. It wasn't like any like that. It was, you know, definitely more hip-hop, you know what I'm saying, making something from absolutely nothing. So, first a little background on the track itself. At the time, this was back in like 2008. Yeah, I think it was 2008. I was working on putting together my debut album, which, you know, and became 305 375, The Voice of the Voiceless. It was a crazy time. I was already touring. I was touring in Europe. It's like, yeah, I was going back and forth from Europe, States, doing shows in the States, and I didn't even have an album out yet. So it was pretty crazy. And not only was I doing shows, I was doing interviews, and I was being called to do lectures because, you know, it was more focused on my activism. You know, I am a raptivist, if y'all didn't know. I mean, I consider myself an MC, but I'm a raptivist. And to be honest with you, you know, I love hip-hop. It's you know, I came up in the culture. It's what I love. But, you know, when it comes to my work with activism, it's activism first, then the rap. I put them together because I'm passionate about both. So, so I was doing all this stuff. It was crazy, doing all these shows and lectures and interviews while trying to record the album. I was running around looking for beats, and within that time frame, a friend of mine, MC Therapist out of Philly, that's my comrade, my brother, peace to my brother Therapist, he introduced me to a producer coming up in Philly, young brother, goes by Unibeats. Yo, peace, Unibeats, you know, my brother, you know what I'm saying? I got love for them bros, man. Philly, you know what I'm saying? The city of brotherly love. It's true, you know what I mean? There's a lot of love in Philly. So he introduced me to Unibeats, and Unibeats gave me a bunch of folders with his beats in it, and I was digging through them. At the same time, he was sending me beats, and when he sent me the beat for I Want Justice, he was, you know, he was saying how dope it was. He kept talking it up, and yeah, I wasn't particularly attracted to the beat. It was different. I mean, there was elements of it that I liked, but it wasn't really what I was looking for, you know. But when he kept talking it up, I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna spit to this beat. Even though it's a beat I would probably never ever spit on, I'm gonna do it. And that kind of moved something to me, because I still do that to this day, rather than digging for beats that are perfect for me, you know. I'm in this box. I like picking beats that are a challenge. As long as I can see words coming, I'll be like, yeah, I might be able to, I could write to this. So I picked those obscure beats. I like doing that, just trying different things. So anyway, I took this beat, and man, I was just filled with all this stuff, because I was doing a lot of research. I was doing a lot of case reading, going into courthouses and reading case files on different prisoners that I was communicating with, looking up their cases and digging deep. So, you know, the countless messed up cases that I read, how people were railroaded, and, you know, and I'm contacting my brothers, you know, we're going back and forth with my brothers on death row, and, you know, I was angry. I had just got out of prison myself. You know, I was only out a few years, so I had bitterness, you know, over that, because of all the injustices and the, you know, the brutality that I experienced while I was locked up. And then everything, I just kept it going. It was fresh. It's like a fresh wound, you know. And any time there was a little scar, it just ripped open even more every time I read something, and, you know, and discovered something else. And I wanted to get the information out to people, you know. And yeah, I wanted justice. That's what I was looking for. I was hungry for it, and I wasn't hungry for it for just myself, but for everybody that I was fighting for, everybody that I named in the song. I mean, if you listen to the song and watch the video, you could see it, you know, and feel it. I really meant that, you know, fighting for, you know, George Jackson, who was assassinated in prison, you know, because he was so outspoken against the establishment. It's crazy. And, you know, and I mentioned like Anthony Haynes, who I profusely, you know, advocated for years. I have a song dedicated to Anthony's case and a video, you know. So I really meant this stuff, and it just poured out over one of, you know, over Unibeats track. And yeah, it was banging, you know what I'm saying? I was feeling it. I performed it live only a few times because if you see it in the video, it's not an easy. I'm saying so much in there. There's so much information. And my hopes was that it's like, all right, the listener might not take it all in, but I might say something that'll trigger them, you know, to go look it up. And then from when they look that up, that's like the beginning of the rabbit hole, and maybe they'll go down. So that's how that track came to be, you know. Getting it from Unibeats in Philly. So had the track, and while I was doing all this running around, another homie of mine, Timmy Grins, peace to my man Grins, man, I love you, brother. He was putting together what was to be the very first internet TV network. Basically, him and his boys got a bunch of people that, you know, were doing different things, and they created what would be an internet show, like what people are doing now on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was more structured, and you're talking about back in 2007, and you know. So anyway, they ended up offering me a show. It was going to be called From the Front Lines, and it was basically just, I was going to document everything that I was doing, every lecture I went to, every protest. You know, I was going down to Texas and protesting executions, and, you know, going to Italy to do a lecture and a show, and workshops, and all of it was around social injustices in the U.S. You know, it was, so that's what my show was going to be about. The network was onlock.com. You know, we got it on lock. So it was pretty cool. And what they did was they supplied me with a video camera. And if I was, you know, in the States, in the area, they would send somebody to help me film. If not, I was on my own. And I was clueless as to how to use, you know, the camera. I actually have not the camera, but it's kind of like the same style, just a newer version. See, it was a big Sony camera. You know, I fell in love with the camera while I had it, and when it ended, I had to get one for myself. So, so onlock.com supplied me with this camera, and actually, they sent a cameraman with me to some gigs I had in Italy. That was pretty cool. So, you know, but anyway, I was in possession of the camera, and I wanted to take full advantage of having that. So I figured, you know, I Want Justice was the latest track that I had recorded. The album was maybe, I guess, it was 3/4 of the way done. But I picked that one to make the video, because the I Want Justice, I just, you know, I was feeling that. So I called up a couple of people. I called up my boy LS first and foremost, and you know, asked him if he was down to help me film the video, and called my boy Therapist. I called a bunch of people. Some people agreed and some people didn't, you know. But none of us knew. None of us were videographers. None of us knew how to use this camera. We just knew how to point it, you know, turn it on, and you know, focus or click on autofocus. That's all we knew, and how to change the tape. But that was enough. Now the video was filmed in Newark, New Jersey, on the south side. It was filmed in New York and in Philadelphia. So basically, my boy LS met me at my crib in Newark. I was living in Newark at the time in this little dump of a basement room. You know, it wasn't even an apartment, it was a room. We started filming there, filmed a couple of clips on the street. Then LS drove us into the city, where we met up with Therapist and his boys. Therapist and them, you know, and his peoples, they took a train from Philly to New York and met us, which, that's crazy. I mean, that's love right there. To jump on the train, and I mean, it wasn't cheap. And they all came on the train, and it was like Therapist, he brought Unibeats with him. He brought his boy Greed, and he brought his boy, what was his... I'm sorry, I need to check this so I don't get it right. I think it was Raw Scheme. That's it, Raw Scheme. And his boy Raw Scheme came through. You know what I'm saying? And we shot some footage down in Chinatown, and then we went up into Harlem. And then after we finished shooting in Harlem, we jumped in the car, and we drove all the way to Philly. And in Philly, a couple of other Therapist's peoples, you know, met up with us, and yo, it was a blast. We had a blast, you know. Now, there's a dark side to this video and its history, okay? Starting with Unibeats. The whole time we was filming, Unibeats was telling me about this case that he was fighting. He had caught a case and he was fighting it, and yeah, it wasn't looking good, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty inevitable that he was going to do time in prison. So he was asking me all kinds of questions, you know, and yeah, he wasn't a big brother, you know what I'm saying? But I schooled him the best that I can, and I assured him he was going to be just fine, you know, and it turned out, as it turns out, yeah, he did fine, you know. He ended up serving, like, I think it was like 5 years or 6 years, you know. So that was looming, and when, you know, while we was filming and he was telling me this, you know, I said, man, you know, I was all hyped. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna make this video. Once this video's finished, I'm gonna put it up. You know what I'm saying? While you're doing time, we're gonna push it, get your name out there in this video. It's gonna get 10,000 views, man. My word is bond. It's gonna get 10,000 views. I was like, that number just came to me, and that's what I spewed out, you know, not thinking, well, getting 10,000 views when you got a very small following, you know, it's pretty tough. But that's what I said, you know. So, yeah. And the other one is two of the young brothers that are, you know, also from Philly that are in the video, unfortunately passed away. The one, Greed, he passed away before the video was completed, you know, before it got put out there. So, yo, my thoughts and my condolences, my deepest condolences to Greed's family and friends, you know what I'm saying? I was really saddened by hearing that, and Raskim as well. But Raskim, he passed away after the video was released. The video was actually, like I said, filmed in 2008. It was released in 2010. You know what I'm saying? Because I had nobody to edit the video, which I'll get into that in a minute. So, Raskim also passed away in 2013, I believe. Is that right? But it was 8 years ago. And yeah, so yeah, it's crazy that these brothers, you know, passed away. I'm happy that Raskim got to see the video. But the reason why the video was delayed was after we filmed it, I couldn't find anybody to edit it. You know, I just, now I know how to edit. And that was one of the reasons why I, you know, made the effort to learn how to edit. I didn't like being in that position where I had to, like, you know, be dependent on somebody. Yo, can you help me out, you know? And there was videographers involved with Unlock.com, but they was professionals. And, yeah, they could do it, but, you know, I couldn't afford them, you know. I just didn't have that kind of money. They were reasonable prices. I just didn't have that budget. So basically, after we filmed everything, I ended up carrying those tapes around for 2 years, and in that process, you know, I ended up moving out to Norway. Yeah, it's like, so I filmed in 2008. I moved out to Norway in 2010. You know, and lo and behold, the first cat that I clicked with out here and became friends with, we actually became business partners and anything. While we was building and getting to know each other, you know, he blurts out, "Yeah, I'm going to university. I'm studying, you know, to be for videography." And I was like, "Say what?" I was like, "For real?" I was like, "Check this out. I got this video I filmed 2 years ago. Do you think you could edit it?" You know, his name was For Show. He was also a graffiti artist, and that was his tag, For Show. And it was actually his legal name. Yeah. For Show passed away as well. He passed away after the video was released. He passed away in 2013, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, it broke my heart, man. And I'm still not over that one, man. We were so close and did so much together, you know. And he left some gems, and the I Want Justice video is one of them. You know, I got a bunch of his artwork hanging in my garage, like his graffiti art. So yeah, carried around them tapes for 2 years, met For Show, and boom, he edited the video. I said, just before For Show passed away, he changed his name. His legal name was Lord For Show. You know what I'm saying? On all his ID, he'd be like, "Look at my passport, I'm a lord." You know what I'm saying? I love that cat, man. I love that brother. So when I gave him all the footage, he took a couple of days and he came back with, you know, what we released. I was blown away. I was like, I really liked what he did. You know, the quality ain't as good as what you see, you know, these days. And but it was shot in HD. But I think that when we filmed it, we didn't. You know, the settings might have been off. I think they had the settings for what they needed for the Unlock.com, you know, show. So we needed to change it to get a better quality for what, you know, for the music video. I think that's what happened. But regardless, For Show did a fantastic job, and I was really pleased with it. We got it up, like I said, in 2010. It took a couple of years, but yeah, it started out really slow, and I was just like, oh man, I told this brother he was gonna get 10,000 views. We can barely break 1,000, you know. And then once it broke 1,000, you know, it was like, all right, first 1,000 down, and then at one point it just, yeah, it was almost like overnight it just took off. You know, we weren't promoting it, you know, that much. We just, you know, sending it here and there and posting it. It wasn't like we had a team pushing it. We weren't paying for promotion. But for some reason, at one point, it just took off, and it broke 10,000. I was like, boom, there it is. And I think it was at 11 or 12,000 when I heard Unibeats got out, and the first time I contacted them. And right now, it stands at 13.5, something like that. So y'all can check it out and make it go to 14. You know what I'm saying? Make it go to 15. You know what I'm saying? But y'all, I bug out over that self-prophecy. Yeah, it's going to get 10,000, and it did. And I've tried it with other videos. It didn't work. I'll be like, yeah, that video there is going to get 1 million views. But it ain't happened. Just that one. So it's special. And so it's like, yeah, it's a coin, man. It's got that bright side. You know, a bunch of brothers getting together. You know, a day of madness just filming this thing. And then there's the dark side. I had to hold on to it for 2 years. 3 brothers that was, you know, a part of this video passed away. One didn't even get to see it, man. Breaks my heart. And, yeah, it's just crazy how much, you know, history this track has. At least, you know, for me personally, for Capital X. So, I would appreciate it if you check it out. I'm going to, you know, I mean, you could just scroll down and see the video, but I am going to put the link, you know, in the description just to make it, you know, dummy proof. No offense. But I'll make it dummy proof. There's no way you can miss it. Yeah, if you're feeling this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up, maybe a share. Yeah, watch it a couple of times. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post the next video. I'm going to keep this up as best that I can, consistent. You know what I'm saying? Capital X TV. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make something happen here. I keep saying, you know what I'm saying? I got to work on that. But that's what I'm hoping to do throughout this whole experience that I'm creating here, is to speak better. You know, I'm not an eloquent speaker. You know, I mispronounce words a lot. You know, it's like I'm well read. I know things. I've been through a hell of a lot, and I'm going to share a hell of a lot. But yeah, you know, you got that whole comment section to make fun of the way I say things or mistakes that I make. Or, you know, I get dates mixed up. Don't ever quote me on a date, bro, because you're definitely going to get caught out there. You know what I'm saying? I've said this in the other video. X has done a lot of things he shouldn't have did, you know what I'm saying? And I took a lot of mag lights to the head, a couple of nightclubs, billy clubs, you know what I'm saying? So don't quote me on any dates, but I'm always in the ballpark. So, but anyway, there it is. I Want Justice video. I'll be doing other videos, and I'll be breaking down, you know, some of the stories of how some tracks came together, because they got interesting stories too. I hope you find them interesting anyway, because my peoples definitely found them entertaining, these stories, you know. And it's entertaining to me. I watch myself say, damn, what if you were a fool? But I'm having a good time, and that's what it's all about, you know. Keep it hip-hop, have a good time, you know, peaceful, and hopefully create this unity. And once again, it's Capital X TV. Subscribe, notification bell. Peace.
I want justice. George Jackson and Anthony Haynes. I want justice. Tony Floyd and Luis Perez. I want justice. Andy Hoyoke gets locked in a cage, but Mikey Powell and no victims for Birmingham. I want justice. Every brother and sister on the road. I want justice. Every broke motherfucker I know. I want justice. Motherfuckers, and I want it now. I want justice. Bitch, I don't give a fuck how.